Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we're so absolutely pleased and honored to have in the studio. I mean, these folks are the epitome of iconic, the Salvation Army, San Diego Salvation Army, only 160 years old, and been doing great things for 160 years. Just so pleased to have in Majors Rob and Amy Reardon. They're the divisional secretaries for Salvation Army San Diego. So welcome, Amy and Rob.
Thank you. I just want to clarify that we are not 160 years old.
You are far from 160 years old. I'm close to 160 years old. I'll tell you that right now. I'll start with you on this, Amy, and then you add to it, Rob, as well. How long have you been involved with the Salvation Army?
Oh, gosh. Well, I've been a Salvation Army officer for almost 30 years. I grew up attending the Salvation Army Church, so it's been part of my life since I was born, but serving and working for 30 years.
How about you, Rob?
Similar story. Grew up in the Salvation Army Church, but I grew up in Canada and emigrated to the United States about 35 years ago. Met this beautiful lady, and we've been together now for just over 30 years and working with the Salvation Army in this capacity for that long.
When did you move from Canada to here?
Right after the Blue Jays won their last World Series.
Very good. Joe Carter, thank you very much.
Right.
By the way, I grew up in L.A., so I'm a Dodger fan. Sorry about your Blue Jays this year. Over here, Jake Minger, just a long-time PR mogul, gave me the thumbs down on that. So he's got to be a Padre fan, for God's sake, on this. If I'm not mistaken, haven't won a World Series. Anyway, that is absolutely another story on it. So I'm going to give a test to Rob. Say the word. What's the last letter in the alphabet?
I've been here long enough to know that it's Z.
I'm very disappointed. My mom was born and raised in Saskatchewan. And so I was expecting you to say Z, and that's okay.
Well, the alphabet song doesn't work if you say Z.
Right.
And I learned that very quickly when we had kids of our own.
I just love it. And the Canucks, I think, are the greatest. I love them for 75 different reasons, and we're glad you're here. Absolutely. And do you have family still back in Canada?
My entire family is still back there.
So they're heartbroken with this latest World Series?
You could say that.
Okay. Yeah, unbelievable World Series.
It was a fantastic World Series. It was probably the best in a decade.
Exactly. Amy thought we were going to talk about the Salvation Army. We're going to break down the 7 games. Is that all right?
We could do that. 7 plus the bonus game, the 18-inning game.
Oh, my. I watched every inning of it, for God's sake, with blurry eyes and all that.
So Amy, we can transition to the Salvation Army because interesting tidbit.
Yeah, please.
Freddie Freeman, first baseman for the Dodgers, grew up in the Salvation Army just up at the road in Orange County.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That is a great segue. And we talk about the mission of the Salvation Army.
Well, the Salvation Army serves all people without discrimination, and we do so in the name of Jesus Christ. Everything that we provide, we do to give glory to God, and we go into a community and we look and see what the need is and try to meet that need.
Right.
That's what we do all over the world.
Are you in every single major city in the United States, Canada as well, and of course in some of the smaller cities as well? How many cities are you in?
Oh, my word. I don't know how many cities. I don't know how. I imagine anywhere you want to go in the country,
right,
there would be a Salvation Army within at least 40, 50 miles.
Right.
Every zip code in the United States is
Right.
served by the Salvation Army.
Right.
Exactly. So to support the Salvation Army, is that member fees? Is it sponsors? Is it companies? Is it everything in between?
A little bit of all of that.
Okay.
Our primary fundraising season is upon us now.
Right.
November begins our bell ringing campaign, where you'll see our iconic red kettle
Right.
in front of stores, and that provides a forward-facing fundraising season. But it raises money just to keep us active in helping people throughout the year. We do get donations from grant foundations, from private citizens, from all kinds of people that just keep supporting our work throughout the year.
Right. And if I may, I
Please,
also like to mention about the thrift store,
please.
because a lot of people like to donate or shop there. And because of the thrift stores, we run a completely 100% free drug and alcohol rehabilitation program. It's a 6-month live-in residential program, completely free. And that's what the thrift stores do. So that's also very important.
Yeah. So, and Jake would know his name, but I can't remember his name. He's probably still down in the San Ysidro area. I believe that's where you have one of your rehabilitation centers. Is that right?
Yep.
And the gentleman used to come on the show all the time. And I'm old and feeble. I can't remember anything anymore, for God's sake. If you mention his name, I'll know that. He used to be a frequent guest on the show because I went down, he gave me a tour. Unbelievable what you folks have down there.
Very blessed. It's a beautiful facility. It's a great program. And then we have a smaller facility for women. That one's for men.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was just being built when I went down there.
Okay.
That shows you how long it's been since I've been there. That was a couple of years ago, correct? They got built 3 years. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. But to your point, Rob, this may be fundraising season for Salvation Army, but giving season is January through December.
Absolutely.
Talk about that.
So we don't go away when Christmas ends. We do pack up the kettles and the bells, but we roll our sleeves up and continue serving, continue teaching, continue rehabbing. We serve meals to seniors 5 days a week throughout the county. We give music lessons to children throughout the county 12 months out of the year. We operate summer camp, sleepaway, residential camps. We also do day camps. Whenever school's out, we do a day camp. So parents have an option for their kids to be safe and taken care of.
We're chatting with Majors Rob and Amy Reardon, the divisional secretaries for the Salvation Army. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast. We're in our 20th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. More than 6 decades of doing great things for people living in San Diego County, whether it's food insecurity, financial literacy, Alzheimer's, or the arts. They are there shoulder to shoulder in this. Amy, and you certainly can add to it if you'd like, Rob. Food insecurity.
Yeah.
In San Diego County, there's 800,000 people that are considered food insecure.
Right.
And you guys know this because you're in the middle of it and all that business. But I love to say that number because it shocks the hell out of other folks. Talk about what you folks do in that area.
Well, we have 5 food banks in the county, and people can come there and get their needs. And I'm very proud of our food banks because I don't know if people know, a lot of people donate canned goods and things like rice and pasta, but we're also able to provide protein. We have meat and vegetables. We always need support for our food banks. It's hard to fund them, but they exist, and we're proud of that. And then, as my husband mentioned, 5 days a week, we serve free lunches to seniors, hot lunches, and that is also a social time. You don't just pick it up and go. You come, you play bingo, you come, you do karaoke, or you just chat. And we're adding breakfast at 2 of our locations for the seniors. So there's a lot going on in that way.
Well, you hit on something that we talk about quite a bit when we have our groups on the St. Paul Senior Services, or we have serving seniors. And of course, you guys have so many collaborations with folks, whether it's the Feeding San Diego or the San Diego Food Bank and everything in between, or the senior groups. Isolationism is huge. You just sort of hit on this, Amy, a little bit. So, Rob, talk about how you folks sort of close that gap a little bit with folks who feel isolated.
Yeah, loneliness is a huge issue in our community, and we don't understand really on the face of it who is combating loneliness in their own lives. So we provide these opportunities for folks to gather, whether they're seniors or even children who might go home to an empty house and not have any camaraderie, anyone of their own age to hang out with, and giving the safe space for people to congregate, get together and to learn about each other and themselves. We provide those opportunities throughout the county. We have 7 locations from Chula Vista to Oceanside. Even out in Imperial County, we have a location in El Centro. So we really try hard to provide these safe spaces. Say that fast 3 times. Safe spaces for people to just get together and know that they're okay, and there are more people like them, and they can really have a place to explore and identify what they want.
Yeah, we come back from break. I want to hit on that as well. I want to talk about your holistic approach to the Salvation Army, of course, and your reach is probably solar system wise. There's probably someone in the Milky Way over there that has got a Salvation Army deal. And most importantly, Rob and Amy, let us know in the second half of the interview what our listeners can do to support your efforts. Obviously, when you see those kettles, you can do that. But you listen. Giving to the Salvation Army shouldn't just stop it during this holiday time. There are needs that are on March 15 as well as July 16th when we return with Majors Rob and Amy Reardon. They're the divisional secretaries for the Salvation Army San Diego. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we will be right back after this short break.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Always a good day. We have the Salvation Army San Diego version in the studio today. Got Majors Rob and Amy Reardon, their divisional secretaries. We were chatting right before break talk about this. I'll start with you on this, Amy, and Rob, please add to it, the holistic approach to the Salvation Army.
Yeah, well, obviously we're concerned about the body, the soul, the mind. Our founder used to say soup, soap, and salvation. We're a Christian organization. I'm not going to be shy about that.
Right.
And our ultimate goal is to see souls brought to Christ. But nobody's interested in talking about religion if they're hungry or if they're, cold.
Hunger knows no religion.
That is right.
Exactly.
So, I was just thinking of, for example, our Door of Hope campus, which is a large campus for people who would be otherwise unhoused. We have different types of living situations there, some who are there for just a few months, some who are there for a couple of years, some who are entire families, some who are single moms. There's all kinds of things there. And on that campus, there's a food bank there, there's training, there's, all kinds of things, case management, and there's a church there as well. So there are all levels of things that we try to minister to the entire human being.
Well, it was really fun last night, for instance.
Yes.
We had a Thanksgiving meal with the residents at the Door of Hope campus. And it was in a room full of people celebrating Thanksgiving with really good food, provided by one of our volunteer organizations, our Salvation Army Women's Auxiliary. And nobody had anything that they weren't without. They were able to come and join together as a big family celebrating, just like you or I would when we get together with our families. And it was just a beautiful image of what equality and belonging look like?
Well, and I think to the point you talk about whether it's through the Door of Hope or whether it's those programs you're using with the youth or the unbelievable rehabilitation spot you have down there, or the food insecurity. I mean, there's a touch point that hits our basic needs, physical and, of course, mental health. We know we are in a mental health crisis that we've never seen before on this planet, by far, and especially with the youth in this area. And I know that's important for the Salvation Army. Rob, how do you folks deal with that?
Well, we want to make sure that, I said it before, we want to make sure our children feel safe and they don't have to worry about, being bullied or being left out. We provide a space for everyone to feel like they belong. That's a word that we tend to use a lot in the Salvation Army. You belong. There's no reason for you to feel like you're on the outside. We open the doors so everyone can be on the inside. And that's the start to good mental health. Yeah. Knowing that you belong and that you're not being ostracized or ignored. We like to say that we're the safety net to catch people that fall through the cracks. So
I'm glad you used that word. We work very, very closely with the San Diego County Office of Education. One of the groups that I've been heavily involved with is called the Classroom of the Future Foundation, founded in 1997. And we work with a lot of the 43 superintendents that are in our county. In the current County Office of Education Superintendent, Dr. Gloria Cerisa, is just an absolute wonderful human being. You cannot get her to talk for more than 1 second without getting the word belonging out. And, I think that is something you got to harp upon all the time, in our 43 school districts. And obviously what you're talking about, Rob and Amy as well in this. Amy, talk a little about some of the challenges that are facing not just the Salvation Army, but, folks in general.
Well, I think one of the challenges is that a lot of people don't feel safe.
Right.
If they're immigrants. And talking about belonging, one of the greatest ways for kids to feel they belong is to go to summer camp, because everybody's equal at summer camp. There's no rich kid, poor kid. Everybody's equal. But some parents are hesitant to send their children to summer camp, and our summer camps don't cost. They can just go. I'm thinking of the residential summer camp, sorry. But they're hesitant to send their kids because they don't know if they'll be.
Well, listen, it's real, and it's something that people are very conscious of that is relatively new in my lifetime, to be honest with you. I mean, to the level it's been in this area. And then when they know they have a safe haven, I don't know what's even more important than that. There's nothing in that area. And you equate Salvation Army with belonging. You're going to be safe. You're going to be taken care of. We want you to feel part of this. Doesn't make a difference what you look like or where you came from in that area. And you folks, 160 plus years of doing this and continue, to do that. Rob, talk a little bit about how you rely on volunteers. How important is that?
I'm so glad you asked that. The latest statistic is that a volunteer hour is worth $37 or $38 to the organization that is using the volunteer services. So that cannot go unsaid. We rely on our volunteers to carry out our mission. We can't do it alone, and we definitely can't afford to pay the people the wages they deserve to carry out our programs. So we rely on volunteers so that we can get people involved in their community. People that have come out of our programs, whether it's the drug and alcohol rehab program or if it's someone that's been getting senior lunch from us, they have an opportunity to come back and give back to their community and help the organization that helped them. And we see that a lot. Graduates of our programs come back and volunteer to help give back. But we also have, mothers and fathers that appreciate the fact that we took care of their kids for a week at summer camp. So they'll come in November and December and help sort toys or sort food bags. And then they'll volunteer at various opportunities throughout the year to just do some of the programs that we carry on all year long, whether it's after school tutoring, music education, whatever it might be. We rely on our volunteers to get the work done.
And what you also do, I preach in the congregation, of course, Amy, you may change that one life to that individual, but you've also changed that person's family, their brothers, their sisters, their aunts, their uncles, their kids. I got my father back. My goodness, I got my mom back, my grandma back, my cousin, because of the rehabilitation or because of X, Y, and Z. And it's exponential. Talk about how important that is.
Well, we have one program I want to mention called Pathway of Hope.
Yeah.
And it is a program for families. They have to have at least one child. And it is a very heavy case management, and it helps the individual, the mom, dad, or both set up their goals, their financial goals, their personal goals, or maybe they have educational goals, and they are heavily mentored by several different people to help them achieve their goals. So what you're doing here is you're changing the trajectory of an entire family, and so and that's generational. Once you've stopped poverty at one level, then the next generation and the one after that and the one after that can move forward. And we see that in the Salvation Army all the time with people whose entire families and generations have been impacted.
Well, 160 plus years of doing that. Amy, what can our listeners do to support your efforts? Obviously, donate and volunteer. What else can they do?
Well, yeah, donating and volunteering. Those are the top two on my list.
Right.
Praying for us, I think, is if they're praying people.
Right.
I don't know what else to say.
They can help spread the word. People will
advocacy.
Yeah.
They can tell their neighbors. They can volunteer and bring a friend to volunteer with them. They can even sponsor one of our kettles this Christmas season, this holiday season, and stand and ring a bell with your family for a couple of hours in front of a Walmart. Or they can go to Walmart and take an angel tree tag and buy the gifts on that are listed on that tag for a child that needs to get gifts at this Christmas or is looking for something under the tree, and you can help provide that. And then that just then expands their horizons, and then they can tell their friends and they can tell their friends, and it's the multiplication effect. And then we won't have to, tell people what the Salvation Army is so much as other people helping us tell the Salvation Army story.
It builds a culture within a family. If you take your child and choose an angel tree tag off the tree, and you take your child around to go shopping for that little child you've chosen off the tree, what that does for your own child, what they see, what they think, how they feel about that, that really develops into their memory and the way that they live. And I think that's important for our entire community.
Without question, what's your website?
sandiego.salvationarmy.org.
Right. And you're going to hear all these things on the Door of Hope. You're going to see about Rehabilitation Center, all the summer camps. That's a great website. What I'd love to do, if you don't mind, I've been saying this a lot recently on my shows, but we've had some good positive feedback from it. I'm not trying to break any HIPAA laws, but I'd love to have you bring in somebody that has benefited from the Rehabilitation Center or from the seniors and all that. The next time you're on, we'll let Dodger hater Jake Minger go ahead and tee that one up as well. But obviously, it shows that the work you do, and there's many, many examples of this. We can talk for 55 hours straight on it. But if we bring somebody in that has benefited from it, we'd love to make that offer to you if you're interested.
Oh, we'd love to come back with someone. Yeah.
Can consider that done. Amy, what an absolute pleasure meeting you. And to my Canuck friend, Robbie, don't say oot in a boot. So that went away?
Take off, eh?
Okay. Beautiful. I love it. Well, listen, thank you for what you folks have done and are continuing to do and all the great work of the Salvation Army. And we're going to look forward to having you make a return appearance.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. My pleasure. We're talking to Majors Rob and Amy Reardon. They're divisional secretaries for the Salvation Army San Diego. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast in our 20th year, brought to you by the fine folks at Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things for those living in San Diego County. And to our audience, we hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.